the Strokes.
Ranked. Yes, the rumours are true. Every Strokes song ranked worst to best. And by rumours, I mean the post that I did on YouTube. I thought I'd have this video done sooner, but this summer I've basically been at the pub, listening to the Strokes. Pretty good time. I'm calling it my Grat Summer, as in gratisfaction. One of the best songs by the Strokes, or one of the worst, who knows? And if I look a bit worse for wear today, it's because I've just got back from a week in Prague. I'm a bit weary, but I've got my coffee, and I'm hoping by about song 50, I'll be back in the swing of things. I just wanted to add in, because I know it's gonna be on everyone's lips as soon as it was announced, did I get Radiohead tickets? And the answer to that is, I don't know. There's still a week before tickets go on sale, so I don't know yet. But if I'm still editing this video, when the tickets do go on sale, I'll put here if I got them. Now, the Strokes are a band I love. I think everyone loves the Strokes, really. Now, who hates the Strokes? But compared to the other artists I've covered on this channel, I'm not very far down the Strokes iceberg. I'm as far down as Nikolai Broke the Zoom. I don't know how far down that is. I feel like that's less than halfway. I've seen them live though. I've got my Strokes coasters here. This was a 4-set. I don't know where the Angles one is gone. That's just been lost in moving from place to place. The Is This It one, my former flatmate borrowed it one night when the internet was down, and I don't really want that one back. But not being down the rabbit hole that far means I don't know what Strokes fans consider like the holy grail of the Strokes, what they consider trash. I have no idea. The Radiohead video, I knew which opinions I was gonna get the most hate for. This one, I have no idea which one I'm gonna get all the hate comments for. So to fans of the Strokes, brace yourself, nothing is holy. I'm probably gonna say some seriously sacrilegious stuff. Good alliteration there, I'm proud of that. All right, I think that's enough of that. Let's just get straight into it. In 76th place, the worst Strokes song, 50/50. It sounds like something that wasn't good enough to get onto 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. Out of 3 Sweet Cheers for Sweet Revenge, I'd give it probably a 0.6 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. The guitar intro is solid, I'll give it that. But the rest of the song does sort of sound like if you described Reptilia to some dodgy emo punk band who didn't really speak English, Hawthorne Heights. I just Googled, well, who's the worst emo band, and they came up first. So your hate comments for that one shouldn't go to me, they should go to Google. But anything else I say, you can direct your hate comments to me, that's fine. I think in every video I've done, I've said at some point, man, I wish this artist would make an emo album. But I'm gonna make an exception here, because if this is what the Strokes emo stuff would sound like, I'm all right without it for now, actually. And anyone who agrees with me, to you, I say, you're so right. I'm heating up a bit, I'll be honest. People over the road definitely think I'm filming an OnlyFans thing now. It's a bad Strokes song that sounds like a bad Void song, so maybe they can rework it to also be a bad Julian Casablancas solo song to complete the unholy trinity. Although, I'll give it this. See, I'm trying to be positive. Radiohead are back together. Positive, let's be positive. The fact that it's only 2.5 minutes long is a very good decision. Good decision. Everything else, that was not a good decision. That was a ask me anything. Yeah, Julian, I'll ask you something. My question is why? And as a follow-up, in what universe did you think this was good enough to be on a Strokes album? The intro sounds like the opening credits to some 80s sitcom where all the characters are me's, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but that's all there is to the song. Except the line about being a coconut, I enjoy that one. But all in all, it's basically a prototype version of At the Door and a much worse sounding version of that song. Listening to At the Door would probably be quite a good decision, actually. Good decision. Listening to Ask Me Anything, that's not a good decision. That's not a good decision. That's a real Evening Sun. Yeah, it really is. Okay, here's my theory on how Evening Sun was created. They had it when they were writing Room on Fire, they had it, yeah. But they were like, oh, this isn't good enough to go on the album. Let's put it to the side, we'll work on it, and then it will be good for the next album. So they set it aside, but then they forgot to work on it and make it better. But then they were like, oh yeah, First Impressions of Earth, the middle part is not fillery enough, so we need some more filler there. Let's stick this one in. It's a shame because there's some good lines in the lyrics here, but it's just a bit undercooked. Just stick it back in the oven. Come on, give it 20 more minutes. What's the rush to eat? What's the rush? And to quote myself, for if I ever meet Julian Casablancas and he asks me what I think of Evening Sun, I'd say listening to it is a bit of a drag queen. If this was their vision of the future in 2016, then the fact that the new Abnormal sounds as good as it does just shows that this is actually some sort of utopian paradise that we're living in. Like, can't you tell? Not an enjoyable listen really, a few good bits in the chorus, but nah. I think this song was not a good decision. Might even say it was a bad decision. The one good thing about Bad Decisions, the only good decision of it, is that it mentions Leave It In My Dreams by The Voids, which is probably their most Strokesy sounding song. If you're a bit Voids curious, but you don't know where to start, Leave It In My Dreams. It sounds like the Strokes, like a top 20 Strokes song as well. Here's how Bad Decisions came about. I've got another origin story here. New Abnormal is about to come out. Someone from the label has phoned up Julian. Yo, Julian, yeah, about the new album, pre-orders are a bit low, probably because you made Out the Door your weirdest song, the first single, terrible choice. Can you quickly write something that's like really derivative of your early stuff to get that sort of crowd to post like, oh, the Strokes are so back, this one sounds like classic Strokes. Yeah, and then they'll pre-order, pre-order numbers will go up. All right, cheers, love you, bye. I'm filming this on my phone, so this is the closest thing I had to a prop phone. Sort of works. And weirdly, I remember very clearly where I was when this song came out. I was down on all fours next to a big sweaty man at the gym, obviously. And my mate messaged me saying, oh, new Strokes song's out. It sounds exactly like classic Strokes. When someone says classic Strokes, you expect big things. And I didn't get big things from this song. From the guy at the gym, hey, no comment. Don't message me saying that something is classic Strokes when it's just this. That's like when someone does a close friends only Instagram story, you're like, oh, here we go, it's gonna be juicy. I'm gonna see a naked body, a dead body, some sort of crime being committed. And then you go on it and it's just a sunset or a plate of food. If you haven't got a genital out or a genital in the background, then just put it on your normal story. But that's enough about Instagram. I could talk about that for 15 minutes. It's potentially the worst sounding Strokes song, especially Julian's vocals. It's like they had a Julian Casablancas sound-like competition and they let whoever came 7th do the vocals on this. It's not great. The end when it picks up is okay, but for the most part, it's just a really boring song that's not really about anything. If I was watching a TV show and a scene came on that had this in the background and the remote control was in like grabbing distance, I'd have a look at what's on the other side. The vocals on this one sound like they let the 5th place at the Julian Sound Like competition do the vocals, so, you know, a bit better, a little bit better. The one highlight of this song really is the bass, good bass stuff going on. It reminds me a lot of Muscle Museum, but sped up. A few good lyrics about Julian hating himself, but yeah, can't relate. I could never hate that man, to be honest. This song won't leave an impression on you, it's just there to be ignored, like when you're driving and you see a red light. A couple of good moments at the end, but for the most part, it just sounds like a worse version of Gratisfaction. And it's an absolutely terrible way to close an album. No coffee for this. It's not a closer. I'm a big believer that opening and closing tracks of albums have to have certain vibes to qualify to be in that slot. Bonus points for the opener or the closer is also the title track. Like, is this it? Opens with is this it? And that's a perfect opener sounding song. Red Light is not qualified to close a window, let alone a Strokes album. First Impressions of Earth, the closer should have been Eyes of the World, probably. And I think Heart in a Cage should be the opener. Every song in the middle should just be You Only Live Once, repeated however many times you want it. 12 times in a row, just get rid of all the others. Yeah, all the others, even Juicebox. Especially Juicebox. When I was first getting into the Strokes, I never really listened to this song because it was just so abrasive and sounded terrible. And now that I'm a bit older, I'm already into the Strokes. I don't really listen to this song because it sounds terrible and too abrasive. For the same reason, I still don't listen to it. But listening to it back this summer, the thing I can't get out of my head is that the riff sounds exactly like Death to All But Metal by Steel Panther. Yeah! And if you don't know who Steel Panther are, let me give you a dramatic reading of probably the best rhyming couplet in rock music ever. I'm in South Korea, broke out with gonorrhea. I mean, that's just genius. Probably the second best rhyming couplet I can think of is Empty, but for us and the vomit. Elvis sitting dead on the toilet. Which, by the way, everyone I know that's been to the Elvis Experience in London, the first thing I ask them is there stuff about the toilet? And there's not, and that's probably why it's getting reviewed so badly. But back to Juicebox. Julian, why are you so mad? Try to understand that I do want you as a fan. If you actually drink your Juicebox instead of singing about it, you might calm down. And you should do that because you don't want to be this angry all the time. It sounds pretty terrible. It's not very catchy. It just sounds like something they've improvised, taken the first take and been like, that's good enough. Let's stick it on the album. Okay, I'm out of segues now. 65, Killing Lies. It reminds me of a Void song, actually. Not the actual music itself, just the song title. And that song title is Lazy Boy. And that's you, Mr. Julian Casablancas. When you were writing this song and deemed it good enough to be on a Strokes album. The melodies are okay, but the actual song's just really dull and boring. Not even the most dull and boring person that I know, me, likes this song. And that's saying a lot. 64, Fear of Sleep. It's a mostly not terrible, Is This It sounding song. That's just part of the never-ending slog that is the middle of First Impressions of Earth. All these songs down here really should have just been B-sides. This is another one of that. Julian's voice sounds good, but the lyrics are terrible. Can any Strokes historians out there let me know, did they sign some sort of deal where their third album had to have as many songs on there as possible, no matter how bad they were? Because that's the only reason I can think that all these songs were on First Impressions of Earth, just clogging it up. Because it's like 8 or 9 decent songs, and then there's just 5 more. No one wants that. 63, Clampdown. This one was a B-side. It's the B-side to The End Has No End. It's a Clash cover, and it's a fine time. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. That was almost English. It gets bonus points for reminding me of Clamps from Futurama, because I love that little guy.
I ought to clamp you. You want to be clamped?
Thanks to Joe Strummer for the reminder there. Futurama, great show. Only the original run though. It was good up to the bit where Fry cuts his hands off and gets the devil's hands put on, but it was good from pretty much when it started. It's a nice enough early Strokes sounding song. The drums at the start are literally the same as Ocean Man, so you get plus points for that. Let's get real for a sec here. Imagine being an American. How bad is that? Is This It? The rest of the world, we get the naked ass with the glove on it, plus New York City cops. America, you get some nerdy science stuff, and when it started. Worst trade deal ever. And I sort of understand why they took off New York City cops.
I don't want to blame it all on 9/11, but it certainly didn't help.
But changing the cover's just criminal. The people want nudity. Give it to us. The US release of Is This It is probably around number like 9,777 of why I'm glad I'm not American. Somewhere in between Budweiser and Jimmy Fallon. It literally tastes like piss. And the other is Budweiser. Sort of work, doesn't work. That doesn't work, forget that. 61, Metabolism. It's their attempt at a Muse song. It sounds like Muse. Not too well because it's actually got decent lyrics, but they get the vibe sort of right. But I'd say to any band out there who's gonna make a song that sounds like Muse, make it sound like early Muse. Make it sound like Origin and Symmetry. Just make Origin and Symmetry. Everything else you can pretty much just put in the bin. But still, if this was a Muse song, it would be their best song since probably around 2012. So good job, Julian. 60, Welcome to Japan. It's got the groove, it's got the line about driving a Lotus, and both of those things work in its favor. But for the most part, I think this song hangs around the upper parts of the lower tier, but then you get the breakdown in the outro and it moves up to the bottom bits of the middle tier. Julian's voice becomes clear, you can understand what he's saying. It's a bit like in Nikes by Frank Ocean when he turns off the pitch shifter halfway through and you can hear him normally and he just starts singing normally. It's like, why couldn't you have just done that from the start, Frank? 59, Slow Animals. The vibes, nice. The chorus melody, solid. But that's just not enough to fill me up because it's just a little bit boring, especially the verses. And the fact that Fast Animals exists and is the same song but not boring makes this song absolutely redundant. It's like they knew they needed a better version of Slow Animals, but they couldn't finish it in time. 58, Heart in a Cage. Good energy, Julian sounds great. It's a bit meat and potatoes and quite repetitive. So as much as I think that it's not a bad song, it does get stale quite quickly, just like bread that's not left in its bread cage. Bin. 57, Mercy, Mercy, Me. I had to check how many Mercies were in that. It's a Marvin Gaye cover featuring Eddie Vedder for some reason. It's a cover of a great song, so as long as you don't sound bad, it's hard to mess it up. And yeah, they didn't mess it up, but obviously the original is a lot better. 56, Vision of Division. Very reminiscent of Juicebox in terms of heaviness, but it's got a lot more going in its favour, namely the crazy guitar stuff going all over the place. But on an album that's already got Juicebox, you don't need another song that sounds exactly like Juicebox. Well, you don't need either of them, but you especially don't need two of them. 55, Alone Together. Let's be real, compared to the rest of Is This It, this is basically a B-side. And that's more of a compliment about how good Is This It is than a dig at this song. It's a little bit bland, the lyrics are good, the ending is good, very good, I'd go as far as to say, very, very good. So just make the whole song like the ending. Make the good part more, make it just the good part. And sadly, as much as I do like the final minute or so, I just don't think that the preceding 2 minutes are worth it. And I won't apologise for that, even though we all know if there's one thing I love, it's a happy ending. Another one that had the potential to be a good song. There's some funky stuff, there's some disco stuff going on. Julian's voice sounds great in the chorus, but again, this one's just a little bit undercooked. And the lyrics have no reference to the 2010 sitcom Happy Endings, which is a real shame. If this channel ever becomes popular, I'm using all my millions to revive that show. Don't worry. Max, we're gonna do it, man.
Why can't I say it?
Fine.
My
Nope. Changed my mind immediately.
He's my idol. Me and him, we'd have been such great partners in crime. When the intro of Partners in Crime came on, I thought I'd accidentally put on Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. So I was like, oh, here we go, here we go, here we bloody go. That's just a front for some shady business going on in the back, which is a much worse, much less catchy version of Gratisfaction, My One True Love. 52, Tap Out. When I was making this list, I had the realization that every Strokes album opens with an absolute banger. And I think all their openers are like top, I'd say top like 18 in this list. I could have a look, but no, I can't be bothered. All their openers are bangers, except for You, Tap Out. You just had to go and ruin it. It's not bad, it's not a bad song. We're definitely well past bad and into like the mid tier now. Got quite a nice chill vibe that's very pleasant. And I thought it had the potential to be top 50 in this list, maybe even top 49. But I think Julian's vocals just don't quite do it for me on this one. Now for this next ranking, I've got a special guest. First ever guest on this channel, I think. And it's a good one, it's a good one. So please welcome to the channel, Mr. Julian Casablancas. Take it away, Julian. Very nice, thank you, Julian. This was probably the worst choice of single they could have done for Room on Fire because it sounds exactly like what you'd fear their second album would be, like a worse version of Is This It? I love Room on Fire, and compared to the rest of the album, this song is just so dull and boring. I keep saying dull. Flat. Flat's the word I'd use to describe this song. Like, even like the keyboard, the guitar, the singing, it's all a bit, oh, to me now I'm older. And it's just very repetitive. It feels a lot longer than it is. It's only 2 minutes 33, which I don't know if I mentioned it in the Radiohead video, but this channel's official endurance policy is that for music, 2 minutes 33 is optimum. Now for the 50th best Strokes song, another guest. I don't know how I managed to get another one, but here we go. All the way from Las Vegas, Mr. Brandon Flowers. Take it away, Brandon. Thanks, Brandon. I think what he meant to say was The Way It Is, which isn't a bad song by any means, but it does sound like the When It Started of Room on Fire, and it makes me think, ooh, is there another version out there that's got nudity on the cover and it's got a better song in this place? 49, Modern Girls and Old-Fashioned Men. Regina Spektor and Julian singing over each other, different melodies, different words, but it comes together quite nicely. It's quite a nice little song. It reminds me for some reason of like early YouTube videos. I'm not sure why, just listen to it, the vibe is the same. I can imagine a ukulele coming out at some point. 48, Brooklyn Bridge to the chorus. The verses are quality and the synths sound exactly like 11th Dimension. Great Julian solo song, by the way. The first half of the chorus, though, sounds like Green Day in a bad way. The second half of the chorus sounds like the Strokes in a decent way. And then the ending is like the Strokes in a really good way. I'm sorry to Green Day fans. I don't know why. I think every video I've done on this channel, I've slagged off Green Day. I was recently clearing out some stuff and I found Found a load of CDs from like 2009. See what we got. We got Battleborn. Not strictly Green Day, that one, but look what we've got here. The Goats. All three of them, all three. International Super Hits, classic. 21st Century Breakdown, Dookie, Nimrod. Got American Idiot around here somewhere as well. So all that's to show that I'm actually a fan. I'm not just a hater for no reason. I used to like them. They brought this upon them. They brought my wrath upon themselves by putting out terrible music. Here's a little preview of every Green Day song ranked worst best. Sorry. Ranked. Number 3, Hitchin' a Ride. Number 2, Brutal Love. And number 1, the best Green Day song by an absolute mile, Last Nite on Earth. It sounds nothing like Green Day, but seriously, listen to Last Nite on Earth by Green Day, you'll be like, bloody hell, when did they put out a song like this? 47, Two Kinds of Happiness. First thought that came to my head listening to this was, wow, it's My Best Friend's Girl by The Cars. Second thought is, the verses are all right, but it would be a lot better if you could make out literally one word that Julian is saying. I cannot understand anything he says here. The chorus is quality, even though you can hear him a little bit more, but not really. But one thing that you can hear is Fab absolutely ripping on the drums. I don't know which kind of happiness that is, but that's definitely one of them. 46, Eternal Summer. One of the least Strokes sounding Strokes songs. I don't know who it's reminding me of, sort of like a modern two-door cinema club. Julian's doing his falsetto over sort of a disco beat. They're trying something new. I can respect that, but maybe it's better for the voids when Julian can just go full nutter mode. And this song would work a lot better if it was 2 minutes long, but it's 6 minutes, 15 seconds long, which I'm pretty sure is actually their longest song. And yeah, it does feel eternal. After like the 3rd minute, you're just waiting for it to end. But that's the problem. The end has no end. A fine song. A fine song. A fine young song. Just a little bit ploddy and uneventful compared to the rest of Room on Fire. Except for that bit where Julian lets out all his pent-up anger. He wanted it easy. Anytime Julian goes for it like that, it makes the song instantly like 20 times better. And to offer a counterpoint to the title, The End Has No End has an end. The end of The End Has No End is 3 minutes and 5 seconds. 44, Between Love and Hate. I really like the I never needed anybody bit. The rest sounds like a cliche Christmas song, like more Christmassy than I Wish It Was Christmas Today. And my opinion on this song, it is between love and hate, but it leans love. We're not messing around anymore. We're in the top 50 Strokes songs. But they're good. They're a good band. I probably lean love on all the songs since when it started. Oh wait, we already done that one. Hawaii. It shouts out the UK and our dark skies. So thanks Julian for doing your research. You really took the time to understand our culture. This song is hammy to the point that it's basically a comedy song, which I think is the intention. And if it is, they've done it very well. They've pulled it off very well. It shouldn't work as well as it does, but it does. It sounds like Surf Wax America by Weezer, but with the addition of the strangest pronunciation of Hawaii that I've ever heard. 42, Barely Legal. I feel like this is like the vibe of Is This It distilled into one song. Great vibes, nice listen, but to me it does sound a bit like either an early demo that they didn't work up enough to be on the same level as the rest of the album, or like something that one of the bands that ripped off the Strokes would make. Although, it did give us that clip of Alex Turner and Miles Kane dancing at Hyde Park. 41, You Talk Way Too Much. It's a decent Room on Fire sounding song. The highlight is when Julian starts screaming about how he needs time, just a little time, like he's roasting a leg of lamb. And actually, Snoop Dogg's got a cookbook, so Julian, I'm thinking, why not you? Let's go into business together. Here's my pitch. We'll call your cookbook Meet Me in the Kitchen. We'll get ChatGPT to write it. We'll just put in a few Casablanca-isms, like salt please Fab. Then we'll get married and make Alex Turner jealous. Perfect. Cheers. 40, Fast Animals. A fully cooked and safe to eat version of Slow Animals. Like I said earlier, it just improves on everything that I wasn't keen on with Slow Animals. Plus, it's got one of my favorite things ever, synth arpeggios. Ooh. I think I overdosed on them between the age of what, 11 and 16, because that was my Muse era. So now anytime I hear one, I sort of perk up. like some sort of sleeper agent, and synth arpeggios are my activation. Somewhere out there, Matt Bellamy's planning to take over the world with his army of sleeper cells. Oh, and by the way, like in all my videos, here's my celebrity gossip section. I know a guy who knows a pilot. He had Matt Bellamy on one of his flights. He said he's a nice guy. So think twice before you slag him off like I have. 39, call me back. There's one thing I've learned from making these videos, it's that the truest song lyric of all time is some are a melody and some are a beat. Alphaville. Well, I'm a melody. Mel to my friends, if I had any. Speaking of melodies, Call Me Back by The Strokes has some great ones. Which when a song sounds like this and it's got bad melodies, I describe it as boring and forgettable. But when it's got good melodies, I call it a chill vibe and low key. 38, Games. The start sounds like a Nintendo game, and so does the rest of the song actually. Maybe that's why it's called Games. Ooh, they're clever those Strokes boys. Very synthy and electronic. I can just imagine the lyric video, the background being that car going over the grids and the deserts. The verses are decent. The chorus is pretty bad, like Julian just singing about being in an empty world over and over and over and over again. But the ending, and by ending, I mean everything after 1 minute 50 in a 3 minute 50 song. So about 2/3 of this song is just ending, but that's quality. 37, Last Nite. Now, obviously this is a classic, and if I was making this list when I was first getting into the Strokes, this would probably be top 10. But there are two issues that have arisen since I first heard this song that's forced me to lower it in the ranking. Number one, I've just heard it too much. Every terrible indie disco I've been to, they play this. Occasionally, you'll hear Reptilia. Occasionally, you'll hear Someday, but it's pretty much exclusively Last Nite. At least once. And anytime I hear it, the taste of Blue VK just comes flooding back to me. Oh, absolute rat poison. But I've consumed so much that when the next rat-born plague hits us, I'll probably be immune, so party around mine. And the second thing that happened is I watched Silence of the Lambs. Great film, one of my favorites, all-time classic. But that film was my introduction to the song American Girl by Tom Petty, and the illusion of Last Nite shattered pretty much immediately. It's like the first time I heard Fake Plastic Trees. That shattered the illusion for Yellow by Coldplay. I was like, oh, they just ripped them off but made it a bit worse. And also, if you haven't seen the Killers cover of American Girl, quality. Brandon in his pink suit, looks great, sounds great, it's great. 36, Call It Fake, Call It Karma. The first thing that came to my mind when I was listening back to this was the tweet that Liam Gallagher did describing Alex Turner. Strange little chap, but I like him. That's how I feel about this song. It's strange, but I like it. It kind of reminds me of the secret track Blood on Black Parade. But one of the things that confused me about this is how does this song have 200 million streams on Spotify? Why this? It's a bit random. It's probably a TikTok thing. I can't imagine what it's used for. But if there's anyone out there that uses TikTok and you make viral videos, can the next song that you use be Gratisfaction, please? Because the next time I see the Strokes, I want them to play that. If you need me to do a dance, take off my clothes, put more clothes on, whatever it takes, I will do it. 35, The Modern Age. Great chorus, great guitar solo, great singing, the way he says variety, and his little Lou Reed impression, I like. Verse is good, not great. Lyrics are a little bit nonsensical, I think. It's a good vibe, but seriously, look at the lyrics and tell me what this song's about. You can't, it's impossible. I like the simplicity of this song. It's fun, but I just want something a bit more, because I hate fun. Tonight, here I am. 34. Electric Cityscape. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to pronounce it. Great song, even though for the most part I cannot understand what Julian's saying again, which is a shame because one of the lyrics is actually, I wish 2 drinks were always in me, which is one of the best, most relatable lyrics that he's ever done. Great vibes, great chorus. It does sound a little bit like U2 in places, but not in a bad way, like how Muse sound like U2. 33, I'll Try Anything Once. You Only Live Once is one of their best songs. Or is it? Stay tuned to find out. So any alternate version of it is automatically gonna be great because the source material is great. So of course this minimalistic piano version's great. If it was a death metal version, that'd be great. If it was a Mongolian throat singing version, that'd be great. All versions of this song would still be top 40, I think, top 40 Strokes songs. Hopefully someone watching this is in contact with the Strokes. And for the 20th anniversary of First Impressions of Earth, they can put all the alternate versions on there and cut pretty much all the other songs. Cut them with some sort of blade some sort of razor blade. For some reason, the start actually reminds me of the Friends theme song, which is a shame because I hate Friends. Although the TV show is not too bad. Just kidding, I absolutely hate that TV show. But the verses have some nice bass stuff going on. I like that. There's some quality guitar stuff throughout, some nice lyrics that I can actually understand about a relationship on the edge, on the razor's edge, on the razor blade's edge. Razor blade, just a great song. 31, Life is Simple in the Moonlight. Great song. When I was saying about perfect closer vibes, this is it. This is it. This song can have all the coffee that it wants. No questions asked. Although, as much as I love this song, I really don't like the don't try to stop us, don't try to stop us bit. If it wasn't for that bit, this is probably a top 10, I think. It's just jarring going from the kind of like dark, chill vibes of the verse and chorus to like suddenly 10 seconds of noise. You get a bit of whiplash. Are you rushing or dragging? Now to introduce the 30th best Strokes song, another guest, Mr. Geordie Greep. Take it away, Geordie.
Meet you in the bathroom.
Pretty close, pretty close. What you meant to say was meet me in the bathroom. I know that inspired a book about indie. The only thing I know of that book is that when the Strokes are mentioned, it's mentioned that they never took showers and they smell really bad. So maybe that's a warning to you. If a member of the Strokes invites you to the bathroom, just know you're not gonna be showering. It's classic Strokes. What more do you want? What more do you want from me? It's classic Strokes. 29, Trying Your Luck. I always forget how depressing this song is, really. I think on the whole, Is This It is a happy album with a little bit of sadness. But then this song and Is This It, the song, are just pure sad, not even a hint of happiness, really. I hate to mention my ex, but I get Radiohead vibes off this one. Sort of somewhere in between the bends and the like, meat and potato parts of OK Computer. Plus, I can actually understand what Julian's saying in this song. Come on. Well, most of it. I reckon about half. Enough to know it's about trying your luck, unsuccessfully. Although, one of the guitarists tries their luck with a guitar solo, and it goes very successfully. Well done. 28, Taken for a Fool. Verses, top tier, absolute top tier. You can tell it's related to Machu Picchu. They're like cousins. And that's a very powerful family to be a part of. They definitely have signet rings and like a motto in Latin and a coat of arms they have above their front door. Their motto in Latin would definitely be Noli esse cocos, cocos, cocos. Noli esse cocos. The chorus is good, not on the same level as the verses though. It holds it back from being a true classic, the chorus. You're probably out there thinking, okay, we said the verses are good, the chorus isn't that good. But why has he ranked this a top 30 Strokes song? I'll tell you exactly why. It's this little climby bit that happens in the transition from the first chorus back into the verse. How good is that? That's so cool, I love that bit. 27, Soma. It's a sci-fi reference, so maybe the seeds of inspiration for Tranquility Base were planted a lot earlier than we thought. It's quite a simple song, really. When I was listening back to it, I realised how similar it is to Take It or Leave It. Similar, very similar, so similar. Soma. You sing the verse of Soma over the verse of Take It or Leave It. Oh, I think the surprises may pleasantly surprise you. And like a lot of classic Strokes riffs, the riff here is very easy to sing along to when you're drunk. Da-da, da-da, da, 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 da. Definitely a drinking band, the Strokes. 26, Whatever Happened. It's the perfect way to open the follow-up to Is This It, really, because the chorus sounds exactly like an Is This It song, but then the verse is quite different. So when you listen to it, Room on Fire for the first time, you're like, okay, they're still good, but they're not gonna just do a one-to-one copy and paste job from their first album. It's a great song, only 2 minutes 50. It finishes quickly, it goes down easy. Remind you of anyone? 25, At the Door. A very odd choice for your first single back after 7 years of being in the wilderness. Actually, it's not an odd choice, it's an absolutely terrible choice. I don't know what they were thinking. When it came out, I listened to it once. I listened to it one more time when the album came out. And that was pretty much it for however long it's been, 5 years. 5 years. Listen to it now though, I'm 5 years older, 5 seconds wiser, and now I can appreciate more what this song's doing. Yeah, it is a bit weird, but it's got some of their best melodies from their whole career. And I will tell you this, just because I like it now, I still think it was a terrible choice for single. Like, the worst song they could have picked. 24, Automatic Stop. Another Room on Fire song that sounds like Christmas. Seriously, is Room on Fire actually a Christmas album? 12:51, 12, December, whoa. 2512, Whoa, hey, watch it. But the guitar chords on this, I'm sure they're exactly the same as that song, I don't know what it's called, but it's in Elf, when Buddy is decorating the department store to look like the North Pole. And the hi-hats sound exactly like sleigh bells. I'm sure they were in Elf as well. It's early September when I'm filming this, so it'll probably be mid to late September when this comes out. So that's still too early to be mentioning Christmas, so I apologize for that. I'll stop talking about Christmas and start talking about Automatic. Stop! Song has quite interesting lyrics about a love triangle, about Julian, a girl, and a guy. Oh, how very modern. The modern age, if you will. Can't think of many early 2000s indie songs that cover this topic, so, you know, ahead of your time again, boys. I really like this song. They've got a couple of their slow jams that I prefer a little bit more, that sound a bit less Christmassy. 23, Threat of Joy. Another reason why Bad Decisions was a bad decision. They put out Threat of Joy, which sounds exactly like their early stuff, and it's on par with their early stuff. It sounds like an updated take on their early stuff. It's not derivative at all. Plus, Julian, you get bonus points for mentioning Baby Doll. That's another thing that I'm trying to bring back, Baby Doll. This channel's official term that you call your friend policy, Baby Doll, hey Baby Doll. Once I've brought back Happy Endings, I'll start working on bringing back Baby Doll. I think the only other person I can think of who's also on my page would be Brandon Flowers. But you know, me, Julian Casablancas, Brandon Flowers, that's a good lineup. 22, Chances. A great song that sounds exactly like this GIF, but you're falling down onto a cloud that sort of floats along while you look back on everything that's gone wrong today. It really is the musical equivalent of like a comfy pair of socks. Everything's just better when this song is on. Great vibe. Julian's falsetto is great. It's great everything, everywhere. This bit's great, this bit's great.
This bit's great, 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 this bit's great.
I do have a history of criticising songs when it's just the same thing over and over again. But that's just because in those ones, the thing that's being repeated is not worth repeating. Here, it is worth repeating and they repeat it. If they didn't repeat it, I'd be here saying, oh yeah, number 50, Chances. There's this good bit, but why didn't they repeat it? Imagine living in that sort of world. Is that the sort of world that you want to live in? I didn't think so. 21, Oblivious. What a banger. That chorus hits like an actual ton of bricks. And I imagine that it features some really emotional lyrics, but I cannot understand a single one of them. But to quote Jason Derulo, been around the world, don't speak the language, but your booty don't need explaining. And Julian, my baby doll, your booty don't need explaining. The guitars are quite unstrokesy. I don't know what sort of scale they're using there. Harmonic minor, sort of Egyptian sounding scale. It sounds good whatever it is. Plus, Julian's delivery of Unchain Me deserves all sorts of awards. An Emmy, an Oscar, a Tony, the Ballon d'Or, Under 12's Karate runner-up. 20, why are Sundays so depressing? And it's obviously because Monday's the next day. What a stupid question. I get sort of Angles vibes from this with like the clean guitar and the like synthy parts. It's just a great song with great melodies all over the place. Here, 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 here. That's where all the great melodies are. It actually reminds me of You Only Live Once a little bit, and that can only be a good thing. And it sounds quite a bit like old Strokes, which is just yet another reason why Bad Decisions shouldn't have been on the album. Is it too late to lower Bad Decisions' place in the ranking? Yeah, I can't be bothered. 19, Eyes of the World. I'm mad. This song makes me mad. Partially mad at myself for sleeping on this song. My relationship with First Impressions of Earth has always pretty much been, oh yeah, you only live once, add to queue. That's it. That's it. Ignore everything else. So I always just assumed that this song wasn't worth my time, but it really is. It really is. I'm also mad at the Strokes for putting this song in an absolutely terrible place. They should respect this song and make it the closer of First Impressions of Earth. They can retcon that now. If they had any self-respect, I think they would. Lyrics are amazing. I think some of Julian's best. Although, all the IZE stuff, which, you know, American English, ugh. But one of his is advertise, which Americans do spell with an S. So I do feel I have to dock a few points of that. I really love how it cuts out when he's halfway through saying vaporize, like he's just been nuked. The Strokes got nuked to bring us Eyes of the World. So show it some bloody respect, all right? 18, 80s Come Down Machine. The drums at the start sound exactly, when I say exactly, I mean exactly, like there's a remix of Blue Bucket of Gold by Sufjan Stevens. The drums are identical. I'll play them now just so you know I'm not going crazy. Here's the Strokes And here's Sufjan. See, I'm not crazy. They sound the same. I'm not crazy. That warehouse just burnt itself down. And the rest of the song sounds like Sufjan Stevens quite a lot as well. I'm not afraid to say it. Hero of the channel, Sufjan Stevens. Sufjan, I would burn down 1,000 warehouses for you. And what do we have with this song? It's quiet, it's relaxing, it's depressing, which is not normally what I come to the Strokes for, but it just shows that they can pull it off. They're talented guys, they can do anything. And as much as I love Julian's screaming and shouting and crooning, I like his whispery singing too. It's a great song. 17, not the same anymore. I hate to mention Radiohead again. Well, I don't, but I like to say that I hate to mention it. But it sounds like Street Spirit by Radiohead. And this would have made a great closer if they didn't have Ode to the Mets, which is a perfect closer. It actually does remind me a lot of Ode to the Mets. Very similar vibe, similar build-up, similar ending track vibes. They've got 2 closers on this album. Their coffee budget must be through the roof. Also, you watching this, yeah, you there, you. Listen up, listen up, listen up. Not the same anymore is the least streamed song from the new Abnormal, which is bad enough by itself. But here's the real kicker. Bad Decisions has double the amount of streams that this song does. What's wrong with people? This is the worst thing that's happened in the 2020s so far. 16, Under Control. It's like a slightly less depressing version of Is This It, the song, which is good because I love Is This It, the song, and I love this song. And similar to Is This It, the song, when you think of classic Strokes, you probably think of something a bit more upbeat than this. But I think they're secretly masters of the slow jam. Julian croons, I goons. Once I've brought back Happy Endings, and I've brought back Baby Doll, the third thing I'll bring back is Back to the Future, starring me as Marty McFly. And when it's the prom scene where his hands are like disappearing while he's playing the guitar and he's fading out the pictures, this will be the song that's playing, not Earth Angel. 15, Selfless. Having listened to every Strokes song recently, I can officially say that Selfless is the best that Julian's vocals ever sound. Buttery smooth, like butter, and tender, like a tender steak that's tender. Let's go chronologically on this. It starts with the transition. It transitions amazingly out of The Adults Are Talking. It goes into this arpeggiated guitar riff. Julian sings softly like he's tucking me into bed. Then the chorus comes in, he's hitting those high falsetto notes like he's Matt Bellamy. Nice guy, Matt Bellamy. Then there's a proper juicy guitar solo that fills me up like that big juicy tender steak I said about earlier. Then the drums drop out, but Julian's voice fills the void with some really nice screaming. Then you get the outro where all those things that I've mentioned all come together and it's even more powerful than before. It's just like a massive tsunami that could kill a coastal town of 10,000 people. Even me, who hasn't had an emotion since about 2002, even I get moved by this song. I want to marry this song, it's just perfect. 14, Take On Me by A-ha. Oh wait, sorry. It's actually a sped up version of The Adults Are Talking. Oh wait, no, it's just One Way Trigger by The Strokes at normal tempo. One of my favorite combos in all of music is upbeat music and depressing lyrics. I take that and put it through the Strokes production line and you get a banger. Please, please don't point it that way unless it is Julian's falsetto, in which case you can point that anywhere you like. 13, Machu Picchu. This song is like me. It's sexy, it's dark, it's moody. Well, out of those 3, I'm just moody, really. But listening to Machu Picchu makes me feel dark and sexy as well. It sounds like something that would play over the opening sequence of some supervillain origin film. So to the future director of the film about my life, when it gets to the scene of me reading all the hate comments on my Radiohead video, you know what song to play. They're just so cool. The Strokes might actually be the coolest guys ever. This song is like if Sunglasses Indoors was a song, but in a cool way, not like the way I do it. Because I'll go out with only my prescription sunglasses, and then what happens, Alex? The sun goes down. Exactly, and all of a sudden I'm sat in someone's garden at like 11 o'clock with just sunglasses because I can't see otherwise. What a loser. 12, Take It or Leave It. Great closer for Is This It? And it made me realise how many of their songs use the word someday quite prominently. Well, I think it's just this and someday, but it's very prominent in both of those. It's got a great riff, it's got a great chaotic energy. If you're from a stupid country that doesn't have New York City Cops on Is This It, then this is the heaviest moment on Is This It. Save the heaviest for last. And of course, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't mention the Arctic Monkeys cover of Take It or Leave It. It's just very funny to watch. They look like kids. And it's weird hearing Alex's Yorkshire accent sing The Strokes. Even though the lyrics are quite general, it feels wrong. Feels like the Strokes should only be sung by American accents. 11, I Can't Win. It's another one that you can really like slur along to when you're drunk. I love melodies. This has great melodies, has great lyrics. They told me that these girls were easy, probably a highlight for me. I always used to think that this was a strange choice to close Room on Fire with, just because it's quite light and breezy, but it has a really strong end credits vibe to it. And it also reminds me of a sped up version of Suck It and See, the song by Arctic Monkeys, which is always a good thing. And it makes me think that I reckon me and Alex Turner, we'd have a very similar Strokes ranking. So Alex, feel free to drop your ranking in the comments, or just, you know, give me free shows for life, whatever's easier for you. Top 10 Strokes, let's go. 10. New York City Cops. When I first listened to Is This It, I was expecting it to sound a lot more like whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not. None of the songs really do, but this one definitely does. I bet Alex Turner's got some demo from 2002 where it's just him going like, Sheffield City Cops, they're a bit daft. And I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. America, getting When It Started instead of New York City Cops has got to be the worst deal in history. How much do you regret throwing our tea into the harbour now? Here we are in the UK. I've got my tea and I've got New York City Cops. And what have you got? 9, Undercover of Darkness. Maybe I'm reading too much into these lyrics, but it's rare that I can understand everything that Julian says, so I'm gonna deep dive on them. I think it's about them looking back on their career and saying, oh yeah, those songs were good, but we're not gonna make songs like that anymore. It's like them waving goodbye to their old sound as it walks off into the sunset. Goodbye, my old friend and adversary. We like our old sound, but we hate that that's what people want from us. So we're gonna take it out back and shoot it. I'm not sure, I could be way off the mark. One thing I am sure of though, this song is an absolute banger. It's just so good. It's everything that I want from the Strokes. It's the Strokes everything bagel. If there was a Strokes song called The Strokes, it would be this. Well, if there's a Strokes song called The Strokes brackets middle era, then it would be this. I think Hard to Explain would be the Strokes brackets classic era, and The Adults Talking would be the Strokes brackets modern era. The only downside to this song is that it follows Machu Picchu, the 1-2 punch to open angles, which makes you think, bloody hell, this album's gonna be insane. You set that bar really incredibly high for angles that it's impossible not to be let down by what comes next. Until, of course, you get to Gratisfaction. It's just so happy and upbeat. It's impossible to not listen to it without getting a massive, like, cheesy grin on your face, like, ah. Seriously, if you don't like this song, which judging by the number of times they've played it live, I'm talking to the Strokes here, what the hell is wrong with you? I want a written explanation. How can you hate this song? It's like hating Archie Marry Me. It's impossible to hate. Now, as much as I do love this song, I did see a YouTube comment once comparing it to Reelin' in the Years by Steely Dan. And I listened to that song, and it is very similar, very similar. But unlike Last Nite, which ripped off American Girl, but made it a bit worse, I think Gratisfaction, even though it rips off Reelin' in the Years, it sounds better. It's a much better song. 7, Someday. Overplayed beyond death, then revived and overplayed to death again. Rinse and repeat about 16 times. But it's a genuine, just timeless classic. So every time I hear it, I'm still like, oh, do. In the way that There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, you take away the vocals, the music sounds like a guy wanted to die in a bus crash. You do the same for this. Take away the vocals, it sounds like a guy looking back on the good old days. This magic. 6, Reptilia. Another great drunk riff. It's just an absolute modern rock classic. Up there with the likes of Seven Nation Army, No One Knows, Galway Girl, just all the big rock classics. It's Reptilia. It's great. You know it's great. I know it's great. I know you know it's great. You know I know it's great. I know you know I know it's great. It's great. 5, The Adults Are Talking. Even the biggest Strokes hater out there has to admit they can open a bloody album. When the new Abnormal came out, I didn't really know what to expect. I'd heard At the Door and Bad Decisions. My expectations were very tempered, which I guess is a good thing because when I finally listened to the album, put this on, I was absolutely blown away. I was blown by the Strokes and all I got was this lousy YouTube channel. The worst thing about the new Abnormal is that the cover art looks like the American cover art for Is This It? Which makes me think, oh, is this another one where there's a secret nudie nudie cover out there. But The Adults Are Talking, it's a banger, probably their catchiest song, and it's got those back and forth panning guitars. Do 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 do. 4, hard to explain. I challenge anyone out there to listen to the way Julian sings and not immediately become fully erect or your gender's equivalent of fully erect. It's just got everything that makes them great, and in particular everything that makes Is This It, the album, a classic. It's the way the guitar riffs, the distorted vocals, it sounds warm, sounds a bit worn, and that all combines with the lyrics, which kind of makes you reminiscent of just doing stupid stuff when you're younger. Back when I was young, dumb, full of 3, Is This It? When I was younger, I would say, when I grow up, I want to see the world, drive nice cars, I want to have boobies. But now that I have grown up, I say, I can't think because I'm just way too tired. And I also say, Is This It, the song, is the perfect way to start Is This It, the album. It's a perfect description of what adult life is like. Although, Julian, rich family, Swiss boarding school, I feel like his early 20s were a lot nicer than this song makes out. And this is yet another artist where I've absolutely loved track 1 of album 1. Put a $5 in the jar. My only gripe with this song is the lack of question mark. I did Google why there's no question mark. They said it didn't look right, but it looks better. Look, come on. 2, You Only Live Once. If it wasn't for this song, I think their career would have been over after First Impressions of Earth. Like seriously, look at that track listing. I take out You Only Live Once. Yikes, that's bleak. That's nearly as bleak as what I see when I get home at 3 AM on a Sunday and look in the mirror. This song just deserves to be on a better album. It's like Michael Jordan playing at the Wizards. So I don't know what that means. I saw a bit of Last Dance again recently and I've got Michael Jordan on the mind. I know that that's wrong, what I've just said, but I don't know how wrong it is. But anyway, the only word that comes close to describing this song, I'd say, would be majestic. I want to call this song Your Majesty, give it a crown, put it on our money, put it on Canada's money as well. And Julian's vocals. Oh boy, Julian's vocals. The nation of Japan is jealous of Julian's wailing skills. He's off the charts. Sorry if anyone in Japan's watching this. I went a bit Morrissey there. I'm sure there are other countries that do it, but the last time I saw Wales in the news was in 2016 and how Robson Kanu did that turn. Number 1, the best Strokes song, Ode to the Mets. Absolute banger. Perfect song, perfect album closer, perfect concert closer. Just give this song all the coffee that it wants. But when I saw the Strokes, you know when they played this? Me neither, but it was early. It was like halfway through, like song 8 or something. I thought, oh, bloody hell, they've finished already. They've only played 8 songs, but they're playing Ode to the Mets. Their only choice to close shows with. You're not gonna write Ode to the Mets and not close your shows with Ode to the Mets. It's a perfect closer. So I was halfway to the exit when they started playing the next song. But anyway, they just nail every single possible aspect of this song. You could look at it through a microscope and it'd be, ooh, this bit's perfect, this bit's perfect. This bit was also perfect. This bit is perfect. It's a dark, brooding song, which the Strokes aren't known for, but again, just shows that they're geniuses. It sounds a bit like Radiohead. If I was gonna suggest an alternate title to this song, it would be Wall Street Spirit. You know, Street Spirit, Wall Street, New York meets Radiohead, hey. It slowly builds and builds and builds and builds, and when it finally releases, it's very controlled. No explosion here. It's just like a guy getting angry and just gets redder and redder and redder in the face, but he never lets it go. He just bottles it up and eventually he gets some sort of brain disease. Like a true Brit, he keeps his anger to himself, just bottles it up, bottles it up, bottles it up. Nothing bad can come from that. I'm gonna say something controversial now. I hope it's not true, but I think it could be. Look at the lyrics of this song. I think it's a goodbye song. I think this is their last song. I think this is their true love waits. Which if it is, which again, I hope it's not, but if it is, what a way to go out. What a farewell. This will keep me warm in the long, lonely nights. I mean, look at this lyric, look at this lyric. The silence that you're hearing is turning into a deafening, painful, shameful roar. Wow, wow. That's the same guy that said, don't be a coconut. He contains multitudes. So there we have it. Every Strokes song, ranked worst to best. I survived somehow. Future me was very kind. He's done some number crunching And here's every Strokes album ranked worst to best, right here. Wow, thanks future me, and thanks present you for watching this video. If you like this video, check out my wares. I've got a bit of every Arctic Monkeys ranked worst to best, a bit of every Radiohead ranked worst to best, a bit of The Killers ranked worst to best, a bit of Phoebe Bridgers ranked worst to best, a bit of The Smiths ranked worst to best. Give them a go, give them a go. If you didn't like this video, please leave me a very detailed comment on exactly why. I know I don't have to ask for those, I get them anyway. Actually, I've nearly got enough hate comments to do every hate comment ranked worst to best. So if you want to get into that video, you better leave your comment quick. Next video, I have no idea what it's going to be. This one took ages to make just because it's been summer, I've been socialising. It's heading to winter now, I'll stop all that nonsense. I'm just going to be sat in my room making videos, I won't be doing anything else. I'm hoping I can get one more every song ranked worst to best done before Christmas. Guess we'll see. I don't know who the artist will be. You can leave your comments if you want. In my mind, I'm thinking it's gonna be Fiona Apple, but I have no clue. And if that's not my next video, it will be the top songs of 2025, which will be sometime in December. So you'll finally be able to know what songs you can listen to from this year. Thanks again for watching, and goodbye. Cheers.